Hey everybody, so this is Galashank, and I'm going to be playing Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. It is a open source game. It's completely free to download. There's some cool things going on about that, since it's open source, it's not a small team of developers. It's more or less anyone who wants to get involved. So, constant updates and things like that. I will not be playing the experimental version just because experimental versions are always very buggy and there's some other issues going on there. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So one of the cool things is the mod compatibility that they just put in the last update. So if you want to add a mod to it, you just need to find the mod pack, put it in your mods folder, and ta-da, there you go. World Gen, not going to be surrounded. You never want classic zombies. It makes for a very dull gameplay compared to all the other cool features everybody's put in. Default world, and just going through this just to, get a nice good start. Random NPCs. If you want to play this game, be very wary. NPCs have been buggy. I don't think they've fixed that quite yet. So, oh, and spawn. Dynamic spawn, what'll happen is zombies will randomly appear up in your city, or, around you or whatever, mainly depending on your noise level. If you choose static spawn instead, what'll happen is all the zombies are there, the city's already filled with them, so you just have to walk in, guns blazing. World name, not too concerned. Just gotta wait for it to download. Here we go. Now onto the character creation. So I'm going to add a couple things here. Namely intelligence. I don't have skill rest turned on. I know it's kind of cheating, but one of the cool things about this game is there's really no be the best at this game. If you want to be the king of Cataclysm DDA, then good luck, because there really isn't any version of that. Some people enjoy doing base building, or you could be a nomad, or whatever. This is roguelike, by the way, and one thing I think that they've done incredibly well is they did a good job at making it fun to die, which is very key when you want to do roguelike with permadeath. So since there's no NPCs, I'm going to cheat a little bit here and do truth teller and ugly, because hey, there's no one for me to worry about lying to, and there's no one who's going to care about how I look. And we'll move up here and see what else we want. There's tons of really cool descriptions here for each trait, and I guess you call them a debuff. I don't know. Yeah, for all the positive and negative traits, there's some really cool things. Like clumsy. I find that fun. We're gonna go with addictive personality. That one's kind of cheating too because I have skill rest turned off right now. But maybe once my character dies, we'll switch on and try to put skill rest back on for a little bit of a harder time. Skinned, no trigger happy. Yeah, because I'm not really planning on using guns anyway. And I think we're gonna go with yeah, it's pretty much it. Now here, this you have great choices when it comes to positive traits, and each one of them is incredibly beneficial. Oddly enough, like masochist. Although you still suffer the negative effects of pain, it also brings a unique pleasure to you. See, that's interesting because pretty much everything in the game is going to hurt you. If you get sick, you go through pain. If you get sunburned, you go through pain. If you get bit by a zombie, of course, it's painful. So having something like that is just amazing. Same for pretty much everything else here. So trying to choose exactly which ones you want and which ones you don't in the beginning before you get used to the game is very, very difficult to figure out. Once you've gone through a couple times, you get a much better idea for your play style and what will go well for you and what won't. I pretty much go with more or less the same ones I always go with, but second playthrough we'll try to make it a little bit neater. So here for profession. Profession is fantastic because again, each one of them has just a phenomenal backstory. Like hitchhiker, crackhead, clown, hobo, lost submissive, um, shower victim. You just show up butt naked. Fast food cook. Some of them are a bit more crazy, like bionic monster, where you start with all sorts of let's see, you are an overtaken bionic induced psychosis. You are a deformed post-human monster with no place in society. But now, where once you were forced to hide in the shadows, you find in this new destination a world where even a creature such as yourself might find its niche. Um, convict cyber junkie, otaku. Some of them are very, very useful. Some of them not so much. And there's a huge selection. Each one of them, really worth looking through and taking a look at and trying to figure out, what's going to fit you best. And of course, each one of them carries with them, points for or against. So, you want to be a bionic patient and, give yourself some bionic muscles and sensors and blood purification thing. It's going to cost you some points. So you're not going to be able to be as intelligent or as strong. Of course, if you choose something else, like chain smoker. So the chain smoker actually, because he has nicotine withdrawal and no skills, is actually, it earns a point, so you can use more points later on for other things. I'm actually going to choose that one because that one seems fun. Then you've got tons and tons of skills. I'm going to go with, again, these are always worth reading. Each one of them has a very good description. It's just very filled with detail, filled with things to look over and read. So if you are someone who enjoys a lot of reading in your gaming, this is definitely a great game for you. And I'm going to go with mechanics. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so even though they did add some mouse support, it's still ASCII. So, there's a lot of, especially with me, there's going to be a lot of jumping around going, what on earth is going on? This is the wrong menu. So back to here, we want fabrication. And you know what? I'm going to go with mechanics because that seems useful. And I'm going to go with survival. Oh, survival is very, very important. And tailoring. Not tailoring. Very indecisive on this part because there's just so many different choices here. And, you want to have everything, but you can't. Because then, it's no fun. So, name, let's go with. No, that's too egotistical. Let's see. Oh, my dog is really cute, and his name is Ike. So we're going to go with Ike. And will be male. So here we go, Ike the Smoker. And yes, we're finished. So it takes a second to build the world. And here we go. So we start out in a little shelter here. And we'll look at the map. So the map says, oh, this is not a great start. We're really far away from civilization, or lack of civilization. Wherever it used to be, it's pretty far away. There's a hotel nearby, but I don't think I want to run into a hotel. So let's see. Yeah, not as much going on out here as I was hoping. So hopefully it's not too far. It's just out in the near distance. And again, it's been ooh, I didn't realize there's a zoom function. Actually, I've been playing all this time with just this little window. Alright, I need to remember what key. I'll be right back. Okay, so yes, what I was trying to do is there's a lovely command to be able to simply spot all nearby items, and I forgot what that command was. So trying to actually find items, just by scrolling through each tile is just an exercise in futility. And this is what I was looking for, a nice little rock. Being someone who's gone through this a couple times, I'm going to, well, I know exactly what I'm looking for. That is a grass. Yeah, thank you. I would like the rock, please. Going through this a couple times, I know the very first resource I'm going to want is 2 rocks. And there's another one all the way down to the south. Now, luckily, since I'm near a forest, and there's plenty of berries, and you can even see, they are still a bit ASCII-ish, so you see that little percentage mark. That's actually berries. Yeah, apple. It's an apple, because it's next to an apple tree. Who'd have thought? Blueberries just out in the open, not next to a bush. Alright, and we're going to go up this way. And if I look at my inventory, I have a... Do I not have any? Yeah. Alright, so we're going to actually take this rock, and we're going to wield it so that I can smash bit of metal, bit of wood, smash the floor because I missed. Now this is something that took me forever to figure out. So one thing in the Cataclysm that you very much want is clothing. And in order to do clothing, as well as a lot of other things, you need string, and you need sheets, need rags, and in a starting zone like this, where on earth am I going to find a bunch of rags and clothing and string in a forest? Well, you get it from windows. Oh, that doesn't make sense, you say. How on earth do you get a long string and two sheets from a window? Well, anyone with half a brain, meaning not myself, would realize that the windows have curtains. I did not know that for just an absurdly long time. So another thing with Cataclysm DDA that's very difficult for a new user, someone who hasn't familiarized themselves with the game, is you don't just craft items in a crafting menu, you also have a disassemble right there, so you can disassemble small items, etc. And there's actually a lot of your components that you're going to get for things like blades, or of course I say that now, I can't find anything. Chunks of steel is one. Nails, all that stuff you're going to actually get from disassembling things, not from just making them. But in this case, we're going to make a stone knife using a 2x4. And we're also going to make a spike using a chunk of steel. And now we're going to make a... Alright, just bear with me. I'm going to make you watch this because I don't care. We're going to make a... Oh, I should have made a makeshift knife. I shouldn't have done that little stone knife. It was a waste of a stone. I want to find my good old... Oh, do I not have it? Oh, there it is. Knife spear. Knife spear. So for the knife spear, I need a rag and a small... I need a long string. So I should probably not disassemble that string. Oh, well. What was the other thing? A rag. Alright, so we'll take this sheet here, and I'm going to... This time, I'm going to take my stone knife, and I'm going to activate it to cut up fabric. We're going to cut up the sheet. Simple enough. Yes, I'm sure. And we want no rags, because apparently we already have as many as I can carry. Hey, window. Smash. And take the string. And by the way, another thing that's really useful is they implemented their crafting system. You can actually craft from items off the floor. Yes, yes, yes. I need a cigarette. Thank you. Light a cigarette and smoke it. Alright, I want a... Here it is, knife spear. So I got the knife spear wielding knife spear. I'm getting tongue-tied. You usually want to carry around a couple rags with you. Just trust me, especially in the beginning, you want rags. Not a lot, just a couple, but they're highly, highly useful. Alright, just bear with me. I'm actually doing this on a keyboard, or sorry, like a laptop keyboard. So my directions are going to be a little bit off as far as the, diagonals. So we'll just got my knife spear, and, that's basically it. Just walking down the street in a dress shirt with pants and briefs, etc., carrying a spear. But it's a well-made spear, so I feel quite safe at the moment. What I'm trying to do here is the real fun. I mean, yeah, I could have looted the shelter, and I probably should have. But, the fun of this game comes from just running into shit. So, as you can see, I just came across my first enemy. Hooray! It is a zombie scientist somewhere to the northwest. So let's go say hi. When it goes from the directions going from gray to pink, that means you've been spotted. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a zombie scientist as in like, oh, the zombie is incredibly intelligent. This is a scientist that got turned into zombie. But I do think they're pretty smart. The other thing is there's an automatic safe mode. What that does is if you're just running around super fast, not really paying attention to where you're going, then you might just run into a herd of mobs and not even realize it. So that safe mode means that when you spot a mob, everything freezes, you can't move, you can't do anything until you clear it, just so that they know, like, oh, okay. There's a monster here. I'm actually going to just wait for a second. There we go. And quickly strike him, dodge him. strike him, and strike him again, strike him again, and now he's dead. Wahaha. He actually went down pretty quickly. I kind of want the hiking boots. Oh, I could get a bra. That's neat. Actually, that's one of the new things they added. I think was hmm. Yeah, they added sorry, underwear and such. Now, actually, one of the cool things about the zombie scientists in particular is CBMs. They are bionics. Um, they're very, very useful. I'm actually going to discard my spear for a second just to activate this. I'm probably, 21% chance of genetic damage, blood loss, or damage to existing bionics. Install anyway? Yeah, we'll risk it. Alright, so now I have some storage capacity, which is very useful. And also, to explain something else, what I was doing there was I was butchering the body. You've got two options when you kill a zombie. Since they are, undead, killing them doesn't really do anything. So what you do is after they go down, you have the option of they'll be unconscious for a short period of time, during which time you can either butcher their corpse to keep them from coming back ever, or you can smash the corpse. I prefer to butcher them because it helps bring up some other qualities. So here's where one of those perks comes in handy. You might have noticed there was a cannibal perk way back in character creation, and there's 6 human corpses lying around me. Now, since they're not zombie corpses, they're not coming back from the dead. However, if I had that cannibal trait, then hey, I just found a smorgasbord. I could just go around and eat all of them and be happy about it. There's some clean water right up this way. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to try to... Ooh, no, I don't really have anything to carry that in. The other great thing about this game is it's pretty realistic in terms of making you decide what you want to carry with you and what you don't. Because the reality is, if you were in a position of the... That's a jet injector? A small pistol-shaped device used to inject advanced fast-healing chemicals through... Oh, okay, through the skin. Label on side warns against more than 2 days. I was thinking, oh my gosh, something we get down with the jet. No, not that cool. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit ADD now. Right, so one of the things is what do you got to carry with you and how you got to carry it. Maybe you could walk around with a giant backpack on, but it's going to be a little bit hard to sneak around in something like that or to perform, crazy ninja moves against zombies. So there's an encumbrance system. Um, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So, yeah, what I was looking at was the commands because one thing that's neat is the encumbrance system. Unfortunately, I have to usually check and see, what the different commands are. So we have here the clothing system. So you'll see I have, let's see, briefs, pants, dress shirt, and dress shoes. Each one of these has a certain amount of coverage. So the pants cover pretty much all of my under area, as they should. The shirt, same thing. Shoes, not as much because they're dress shoes, so they don't, they stop at the heel. Each one of them has encumbrance and warmth, which is what you see down in the middle window at the bottom. So warmth is very key, and that's the green numbers on the far right. If it's very cold out or something like that, you freeze to death and die. The encumbrance is the number next to that. So that 3 that I've got pretty much everywhere is not great, in fact. It's probably because I'm too warm. So I'm going to actually just check the character window, which is... Aha, good. Yes, so encumbrance and warmth. So you'll see that stuff there. Yes. Melee skill, -3, dodge skill, -3. So actually I'm very, very highly encumbered right now, which is very bad. So we're going to take another look at my character and figure out what's going on here. Is it the briefs? No, actually, get a better view of that if I go to this screen. So encumbrance 0, encumbrance 0, encumbrance 0, encumbrance 0. So oddly enough, nothing's encumbering me right now, so I'm not entirely sure My encumbrance is that high. That seems very odd. Very odd. That shouldn't be the case. But, oh, It's because I'm carrying too much. So, since I'm trying to carry a lighter and a stone knife and a bottle of clean water and some cigarettes and 4 rags, all in, dress pants pockets, it's not exactly working well for me. So, I appreciate that they incorporate that in there. I'm also going to grab one of these, and you know what? I would like a lab coat. So I'm going to put that on, and now you can see no longer encumbered because the lab coat has 14 storage, which makes me very happy. And since it fits, because that's another thing you'll see here, is fits, and sometimes it just won't say anything. When something fits, you end up getting less encumbered by it. So it's pretty cool. And again, you want to balance all sorts of stuff, like balancing your encumbrance and your warmth, and trying to balance your, how much you're carrying. And as far as how much you're carrying, not only is there a volume aspect of things, so you can see up the top, volume 19. There's also a weight in pounds, or you can also switch that to kilograms, um, limit. So if you go over that, you also get encumbered, which can then be affected by your strength, which can be affected by other things. It's a very, very complex game, and trying to figure out a good balance is, let me phrase that, trying to find the perfect balance is just downright impossible. But trying to find a balance that works for you, pretty easy to do. You just have to do a little bit of experimentation and find what works best for how you're feeling. Um, Yep. So another thing too that I'd like to say about this game that I've played this game off and on for years actually, longer than any other game I've played, and I take a lot of breaks from it, but I always find myself coming back to it. And the great reason for that is there's always something new to find. There's a great wealth of information on the Wikipedia page that I really don't recommend too much. Um, I mean, it's a great tool, but at the same time, half the fun is figuring things out yourself and dying in the process. Hmm. So you start a game out, and you can say, I'm going to be, I'm going to go with a crossbow, and I'm going to run around, and I'm going to shoot people long distance, and do this and that and the other thing. And then, as you're walking along, all of a sudden, just some giant zombie that you've never seen before will show up, or a zombie necromancer that actually resurrects other zombies as it's trying to kill you. So, stuff like that comes up, and you get destroyed very quickly. Now, I'm actually thirsty, so I'm going to drink some water, and I'm now slaked. That's great. I'm not too worried about food, just because, I'm near a forest, so there's plenty to be had when the time comes. But yeah, you'll just always find something new to find you and kill you. And there's something spotted nearby. It's just a rat. I don't care about a rat. Bring it on! Bring it on. And I need to just start turning that off because it's getting annoying. And there's the rat. And the rat's dead. And we're going to butcher it. And I'm also going to have a cigarette. So one of the things too with this game that you have to balance out is morale. It's very easy to let your morale drop. If your morale drops too far, you start to lose focus. If you lose focus, you come across some other issues, such as faster skill loss if you decide to leave skill rest on. So anyway, we came across something here. I have no idea what. A lot of times when you see things like this, like buildings, it'll actually tell you what they are. But in this case, for whatever reason, it's all boarded up. Don't know what's inside of it. And I know this was kind of a quick introductory episode, but I'm new at this, so you'll just have to deal for now. And when we come back tomorrow, we'll go through and see what's inside this mysterious house that doesn't actually show up on the map. Interesting.